Okay, so here we are with another behind the scenes director's commentary. This piece comes from my first self produced show called Mixed Company at Philly Fringe in 2006. At the time, I was really hell bent on putting on a show that encapsulated like what it was that I wanted to do as an artist. I was working for a burlesque troupe at the time, directing and doing modern dance on the side. One of my modern dancer friends joined the troupe, and we started working together and collaborating on pieces that were a little bit more performance art. And this is a direct result of our collaboration. This is a piece called Filter that's kind of solidified my style during the aughts, and it was a piece about post 9/11 socio political trauma. And you can see the two towers there as the props, and that is a anatomically correct paper mache heart. So let's get into this opening. Okay, so obviously it was really important to make a grand entrance. I've used Tool a lot in my work, and the idea was like coming out of this cocoon of protection and bearing your true self. Um, I was also really into Robert Carey Williams at the time, who was a British designer, fashion designer, who does a lot of deconstruction work, um, and has a tendency to shoot bullet holes into his fabric before he designs with them. I like the idea of asymmetry, and had a fashion designer who I work with for my burlesque shows create this piece with the extended, exaggerated arm, and it came out pretty well. We used a pair of IKEA curtains to make that little jacket, and some vintage curtains to make the dress. I just wanted to look like post-apocalyptic utopian burlesque striptease. Hence the leather gloves that are coming off here, which is indicative of every striptease. You gotta have the glove moment. Going back to the classics. So as aforementioned, Megan, she comes from the same circle of modern dance training that I had when I was in Philadelphia, and her troupe, or her entity, or her performance space, which she's the artistic director of, is called Fidget, which is kind of a nod to her style of movement. And we kind of put together our two brains. She likes very quick kind of gestures, and I like very long reaching extensions and isolations. Um, and I had seen her perform in these paniers and a piece that she did in a solo for another presentation. I was like, I want to use you with those paniers. I love them. Let's try to come up with something together. So as you can see, this is the moment of change. And it gets a little intense after this. Originally, the gas masks were also a thing that I like to use from time to time at my work, um, for several reasons, all of which I won't tell you. But we had the girls come out in the army gear and the gas mask to put on the panniers. We had originally choreographed very loosely what we wanted to happen at this point. I was giving her prompts to react to the music, prompts to react to a certain way of how drastically our lives had changed when we saw what had happened that day in September. And I didn't add the blindfold until about an hour before the performance, which I have a really bad habit of doing, but it turns out that sensory deprivation works really well for some dancers. So there's nothing I love more than happy accidents, and because she was blindfolded, she only had the fan, which is stage left, to kind of gauge how far she could go towards the end of the stage without falling off. And when she ran into that one tower, it fell over, and it was extremely dramatic. And it wasn't supposed to happen, but I'm glad that it did, because it kind of mimicked the first tower falling. This part was definitely very choreographed. I wanted her to feel trapped, like she was trying to get out. And we worked out the rest of the blindfold choreography like right before she went on stage. And I wanted to create as much sound with the panniers as possible. Quick note on the music, this is Daniel Bernard Romain, or Roman. He's a black classical music composer, and I use his work a lot. I've used this piece several times.